Hang on. Yes! Yes! The final whistle. Well, not even the final whistle. The final whistle went ages ago, but let's say Kepa ballooned his penalty over the bar just a matter of minutes ago, sending us all crazy. I ran into the kitchen. I ripped my shirt off. I was swirling it over my head. I almost broke a light. I almost blinded my poor girlfriend, Stephanie. I'm sorry about that, Stephanie. But it was absolutely the most stressful game of my entire life. I spent all of extra time with dumbbells that I bought at the local get fit store, and I was just lifting them up and down, trying to just get some of that stress out. I'm delighted to be joined by Alan and by the Irish Red 11. Nigel, it's your first time. Welcome to Cop On.
Thank you very much,
time to make your debut. How the devil are you?
Stressed. That'd be the best way to put it, I suppose. Stressed, but happily we've won a cup, and as I tweeted earlier on, I wouldn't have been here if we didn't win that. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. What would you have done? Actually, what would you have done? You would have crawled into a corner and wept.
Probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Excellent stuff, and Alan's here as well. Alan, what joy! I mean, did you think that the Carabao Cup, the Koala League, could bring you so much joy?
Oh yeah, it's great. Oh my God! Just as I said to you there just before we started, I think I had 3 heart attacks and 2 strokes during that game because I got sucked into that game so much. I'm normally able to sit back and just watch a game, but I just got sucked in. Wow!
I heard Lidl and Aldi are selling new arses on Thursday, so
I'll be first in.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, and Quiveen Kelleher. Stephanie, bless her, she doesn't like football very much, but she watched the penalties to sort of, just to see what was wrong with me. I think, so she was watching these penalties, and we were both going, why don't you move? Why didn't he? He's on the line, Kelleher, and bless him, he's so honest. Because he was standing there like a keeper should, according to the rules. And then there's Kepa, who's trying to dance, trying to put people off, trying to stare people down. And I'm so delighted because I would have been far less honest. I don't know, Nigel, what do you think about Quiveen? The way he stepped up. I mean, he used to play for Ringman Rovers as a striker.
Yes. He's come a long way. You know what I mean? He's taken his chance with both hands. He's come a really, really long way. Klopp, after the way he played in the early rounds, Klopp trusted him, and the trust has paid off. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And Alan, he's from round your parts. I mean, can you? I don't know. It must be great having a local lad suddenly being the hero.
Well, yeah, it's fantastic. It's great he's from Cork, not too far away from me, but it's great for us Irish fans to have an Irish player in the team, because all the great Liverpool teams over the years had great Irish players in them, and we were missing that. But what a player! Like to me, I don't feel we're weaker when he's in goals. Yeah. Ali's the number one, but probably the best goalie in the world. But when Quiveen comes in, I have no fears.
Yeah,
right. There's not a big drop.
Fully agree with that. I think he's about 15 Premier League teams' number 1 goalkeeper.
Easily. Yeah, easily.
Totally. Yeah. That save from Lukaku, we got to mention it because, of course,
brilliant.
I don't know what commentary you were watching. I was flipping between streams, I'm going to be honest. And I ended up with German commentary in the end, which is a million times better than those numpties, Tyler and Neville. And they were saying, well, yeah, I think Lukaku, maybe he didn't quite connect to that. He connected with that. It was one of the best saves I've ever seen in any cup final. Right at the last minute, it was totally brilliant. But the amount of times my heart just leapt out of my chest when Mason Mount, 2 missed chances, and Chelsea. I mean, they've got a habit of bottling finals, surprisingly. You'd be surprised when you look at their record. I remember when they played Mason Mount, actually, before the FA Cup final that Arsenal won. He was saying how, they'd lost the year before to someone bad. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was City or Watford. I don't know who they lost to. But anyway, he said he didn't want that feeling again. And lo and behold, they lost that match. And Mason Mount missed another sitters, missed another couple today. But there were times when you thought we'd lost it, obviously. But were there times you thought where we'd won it and we could have done better, Alan? What do you know?
Yeah, I thought, well, like after 5 minutes, I think Kelleher had to make a good save from Pulic.
Superb save.
And then after that, they seemed to control the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then,
definitely.
And then we kind of took back over, and I was fairly confident. But
we started getting Diaz on the ball after about 20 minutes, and he was our best outfield player on the day.
Absolutely, yeah. And he was a big loss when he went off too.
Yeah, we died.
But I think halfway through the second half, maybe just near the end, we lost midfield.
Yeah,
they were just controlling midfield, and we were hanging on like that. God, they could have been 5-0 up, like. But
all of extra time,
they controlled it. Yeah.
Grim death. Yeah.
But we were Liverpool. You never give up. You're never out of the game. You were in the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think even if they'd scored, we would have pushed on a bit, maybe, but. Thankfully, we didn't have to find out that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they ended up. Christian Pulisic had 2 shots. Mason Mount had 4. N'Golo Kante had 1. Kovacic had 1. Alonso had 1. Azpilicueta had 1. Lukaku had that one just at the end that was brilliantly saved. And then from a Liverpool point of view, Trent had a shot. Virgil had 3 efforts at goal, including one that was brilliantly saved by Mendy. You've got to give him credit. They should have kept him on.
Ridiculous decision.
What were they doing?
Ridiculous decision.
That was crazy.
Honestly, it could not have gone worse. You cannot let in 11 penalties, including from the goalkeeper, and then sky yours to give it. And I heard something because go on.
No,
go on, Nigel.
If they brought on Kepa just to do that kind of rubbish he was doing, coming out and standing on the penalty spot in front of every penalty taker, what's the point? If that's all he has, you know what I mean.
They brought him on to be a tug.
Yes.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
But the thing is, with this German stream that I was watching, they didn't speak. God, please take lessons, Tyler and Neville. They didn't speak when Thomas Tuchel was given his sort of, around the circle. He was given his team talk, right? And you could hear exactly what he was saying. And he was saying, almost word for word, as much as my brain can allow, he was saying, right, when you take the penalty, take a deep breath, take your time, put it where you want to take it with conviction, and Kepa will do the rest. That's what he said. And he did. Kepa did do the rest. He ballooned it over the bar. And we're the champions for the 9th time. Absolutely marvellous. So Mohamed Salah managed 5 shots despite being triple marked throughout the game. Sadio Mane managed 2, including one that was really the save of the match, which was unbelievable, freaking believable.
For me, Mendy was man of the match in the 120 minutes. I thought Mendy.
You could say that. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I absolutely thought he was. Absolutely thought he was. He was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. He was brilliant, and he deserved to stay on because is he even taller than Kepa? He seems a bit taller and a bit
crazy. I think he's
more imposing, like
just a better goalkeeper, though.
A million times better.
But what your keeper's playing? Your keeper's played 120 minutes. He's had some fantastic saves. He's done nothing wrong, and you take him off for another keeper. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
Exactly. Jesse's in the chat as well. Hello, Jesse. Really nice to see you. Jesse says Kepa's performance was karma for when he refused to come off in the final against City. Yes. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how karma works, but go on.
I just think it's a big difference between our manager trusting our young reserve goalkeeper from previous rounds because he helped get us where we were, and them bringing on a guy to shots to save penalties, and then our young goalkeeper goes and scores the winner.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And it's a triumph of that. It's a triumph of sticking with your boys. It's a triumph of honesty, as I said before, over shithousery.
Trust.
Absolutely wonderful.
And how does the referee let him for 11 penalties come out to the ball, and 11 times the ref spoke to him about going back?
Yeah.
After the second time, the ref should have yellow carded them, and that was it. But,
how did the referee give some of the decisions he gave and didn't give? What about the rugby tackle on Andy Robbo?
He took the words out of my mouth.
There was so many.
It was
ridiculous.
He had both arms around his hips and pushed them over the sideline. Yeah. But he was bad for both sides as well.
I wonder is he eligible for the rugby next week?
Sorry, Nigel?
I wonder is he eligible for the rugby next week?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good tackle.
It was a great tackle,
It was a good tackle, yeah. Well needed. So there you go. Naby Keita coming in. We've got to say a word for poor Thiago. I mean, it started with tears, ended with joy, but I mean, what a mad situation just before kickoff in the warm-up to get injured. I mean, your heart goes out.
Your heart goes out to him. And at the end of the game there, he was crying. He was crying at the end of the game.
At the end as well, I didn't see that. Okay.
The fans were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and he was walking around with the players, and the tears were flowing out of his eyes. It was nice to see because he obviously felt the emotion.
Felt so sorry for him when you see him on the bench there. And at the start, he's a great player, like he really is, and he's bought in. He's bought into the philosophy of the club, same as everybody else, and it's great to watch.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, go on.
Yeah. No, it's just the same as the rest of us. It's like we might be kind of removed from the players and stuff like that, but the players know what the situation is philosophy-wise between fans and club and players. It's a simple. Why NWA is not a song; it's a philosophy. So
and you can't buy that. It's not fake. It's not like some. I do often hear some other stadiums, particularly in Italy or places where they have someone on a microphone cheering up the fans, and I think,
terrible.
That's terrible. I went to the PSG match last night. I went to PSG Saint-Etienne just up the road, and I was thinking exactly that because they had this piped music and they had these sort of firework things and like boom 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 as the players came out, and it's like, well, this is not. There's no soul here. It's not like going to Anfield, but it's really like a religious experience, isn't it? Jesse's asking what happened to Thiago. I don't actually know. Do you know what happened to him during the warm up? So
no,
quite
barely
sure,
caught him.
Barely
caught him on the bench, and it was awful. Just say, I said to my dad, we were watching the game before it kicked off, and this thing that all these stadiums seem to be doing now is this this lights flashing on and off and kind of create an atmosphere. A lot of rubbish. And did you see just on that subject? Did you see the flags? The difference between the flags between our flags with our big homemade banners and all this and they're down the other end with their little plastic flags on sticks.
They stole them from Stamford Bridge, did they? They sort of brought their little flags that they get provided with. Okay.
They probably left them out in the stadium.
They brought the skip from Stamford Bridge over.
They can take it back now. Not in it.
Oh dear, but no, that's. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you can't buy what we have. 9th time now, League Cup champions. I'm going to get on to talk about. We'll go through the team. I did prepare some kind of player ratings. We're going to go through the defence, right? Okay, so the defence, obviously Kelleher. We've already spoken about him. Do you have any more to say? Because I could go on about him. Do you have more to say about Kelleher and just how delighted you are?
What else can be said? Our man of the match. Simple as that.
Man of the match, yeah, absolutely. Man of the match.
Our man of the match.
For the winning penalty as well. I still can't believe how he did it.
Yeah, he was so calm taking the penalty too. We know he's calm when he's in goals, but to stand up there and take a penalty as a goalkeeper, he was as calm as hell. He's just
I believe, right, this is something for all penalty takers out there. Now, you can Google this because it might be my memory playing tricks on me, but I do believe that Stephen Hawking the late esteemed Professor Stephen Hawking was involved in a worldwide study of penalties in football. I promise this is something that I haven't made up. And apparently the best place to put any penalty, the one that has the most chance of success, is high and slightly to one side of the goalkeeper. And I don't know if Quivine is a big Dr. Hawking fan, but he put his penalty in the perfect mathematical place. And then he didn't even celebrate either. He was just sort of like walked around Kepa.
Yeah,
if Kepa had done that, he would have growled at someone. He would have, been a bit of a wrestling, a wrestling freak kind of thing. But, no.
In fairness to Kepa, he did the same thing. He put it high.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. But again, going back to rugby, maybe they need someone to take the conversions. Wonderful. But they go through the defence. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 67.2% passing accuracy for Trent today. What did you make of his performance, Alan?
Oh, Trent hasn't played well in a few games now. I don't know what it is. There's just something not right with him. It wasn't awful, it wasn't terrible, but he did let a player get behind him once or twice there and stuff. Yeah. But again, it's such a high standard that when he plays off, he looks off. But he's just hasn't been himself for 2 or 3 games. Don't know why.
I heard from previous kind of games at Wembley and stuff like that the pitch is very sapping on the legs and it wears you out a lot. You see a few people going down with cramp, whether they had or not, I'm not sure. But it's supposed to be a very sapping surface, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So maybe it was that
that could well have played into it. I mean, he had 104 touches in the game. He did manage 6 key passes, which is really good. I mean, his passing accuracy was down.
Great ball to Mane in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Super
just
ball.
Say, that. I mean, Mane was kicking himself a bit because that could have been 1-0 to Liverpool. There you go. Jesse's in the chat again. He says Kepa's penalty was taken like he was kicking an American football field goal. Yes, it was. It was. What do you get for that? 1 point? I don't know. It's definitely 1 point for Kepa.
1 point, no cups.
No, yeah, brilliant. But okay, what about Joel Matip? His passing accuracy was very low for a central defender. He normally posts around 90% passing accuracy. Today was 79.6%. And they found it hard, didn't they? Because Chelsea were, hassling him, and him and Trent, not giving them space to play. And I thought Matip, didn't exactly panic, but he almost gave the ball away once in the second half, and he gave the ball away much more than normal. Yeah, go on, Alan.
He did once or twice, okay, but I always feel sorry for Matip because he takes risks. He takes the ball and he runs with players and he might give a bad pass. He does give 1 or 2 bad passes or that some games, but straight away any podcasts I listen to or Twitter groups or whatever, straight away people are on, Matip's terrible. I don't agree with it. I think he's a fantastic player.
No. He's a wonderful player.
And I think we missed him. We missed him when he went off.
Yeah. He's played more games this season than he's ever played before in a season.
That's true already.
He's been really good. Not his best game today, but not his worst game. He's had a couple of dodgy enough games, but he was good today, I thought.
Yeah,
I thought he was decent. Did nothing.
Yeah, like Owen said, Chelsea were playing against him, keeping him and Trent, to target them so. Yeah,
that side instead rather than targeting Virgil.
Yeah, because Virgil is Virgil. You target Virgil, you're at nothing. You target maybe someone beside him, you have a better chance. Yeah.
So some defensive statistics then. Trent had 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 4 clearances. Matip had 2 tackles, 1 interception, and 2 clearances. Virgil had 1 tackle, no interceptions, and 6 clearances. He actually had to make a tackle, which he doesn't like, always makes him angry. And Andy Robertson had no tackles, no interceptions, and 2 clearances. But big Virgil, I mean, we needed him at times today. We needed him. He was in the right place at the right time. He was calm. He was calming things down, down on the ball, and I thought he was tremendous. He was absolutely terrific. What did you think, Nigel?
End of the game, you see who had the man of the match trophy. Simple as that. It shocked me a bit, to be perfectly honest.
Was it Virgil?
Virgil.
Okay, right, okay.
Virgil.
Okay. I think I was making my tea.
Yeah, well, he was just Virgil. Simple,
The Virgil of old?
You don't need to say anymore. Just Virgil.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Virgil. It's vintage
it.
Virgil performance.
Yeah.
It was terrific. I mean, who scored? Gave him 8.07, which is an incredible rating. They gave Trent 8.34, which is interesting. Andy Robertson only got 7.10, but I thought he was really good, Robertson, because he was up against a big challenge of Reece James coming off the bench, Azpilicueta, who always plays well in finals. Cesar Azpilicueta, and it was terrific. We've got some more comments coming in. Thanks, Gary. He says Kepa is a mug. Excellent, I like it. You always hear it from everyone when Matip is injured. Says Jesse that he is injury prone, but he never gets praise when he stays healthy, and that's a really good point. We need to give him praise for staying.
He's getting it now.
He's getting it now, and he's a terrific player, wonderful player.
Yeah,
but Andy Robertson, Nigel. You were impressed.
I was. Robbo gives you what you're getting with Robbo. He'll go up and down that line all day. He's robotic. It's just, and he put in the odd great ball here and there, but he had like you said today, he had Reece James coming down on him all the time, and then he had maybe kind of Havertz or whoever else was up there coming across to him. The whole defence did, but he's just, when they move across, you've got to pick them up. Now, I will say that one that barely went past the post, or the one that Kelleher saved. The one early when Kelleher saved, when your man put the ball into our channel between Virgil and Robbo. Yes. He got badly caught for that.
Yes.
He got badly caught for that one, but most of the game, he was solid and no problem.
Yeah, because it's very hard, isn't it? Pulisic, who was there? Pulisic, who was there? Who missed that chance? And it's so difficult because he at times he had three players to look after, and he did so well. What did you make of him, Alan, and Andy Robertson?
Oh yeah, we always know what we get for Andy. He was very good. Like you said, he was under so much pressure. He didn't get many balls crossing today, really, but up and down that line, doing what he always does. Fantastic player.
He is a wonderful player. Moving into the midfield, staying with you, Alan. Yeah, we're going to, the first one to talk about, I think, is Naby Lab, because drafted in with 2 minutes notice. I thought at times he went a little bit missing, but he only had 40 touches in the match. Mind you, Jordan Henderson only had 39 touches. I thought both of them were at times a little bit ineffective, but I thought Keita was, he did pretty well. In the circumstances, his passing accuracy was 78.8%. He had one shot. It was on target. He's no Thiago, of course, because no one is, but he's, I thought he did all right. What do you reckon, Alan?
Yeah, he did. He did good enough, I thought. We struggled in midfield all day, but I thought he did everything. He worked hard. He was a threat going forward. And like, I always think he's a lot better player than he's given credit for as well sometimes. But he did nothing wrong. He did okay. Yeah, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Go on, Nigel. Yeah, what do you make?
There was a very large Thiago-shaped hole in our midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he went in there on a hiding to nothing. Did okay. Him and Henderson. Thing. Missed the presence of Thiago.
Yeah.
Both did well. Nothing wrong. No complaints.
Yeah, I mean, Henderson, though, I don't know. I thought this game, I was a bit disappointed with him. He was 78 minutes on the pitch and only a 70% passing accuracy, played a bit safe. You could see him leading the team very well, as you would expect from him. But I just thought with the ball, he could have been a bit, could have done a bit better, could have, maybe played a few more progressive passes. That's really this big strength of his game. But he was very safe today. But I suppose it was a final, and it's good to be safe in a final. But I wanted a little bit more, Nigel, didn't you, from Jordan?
Well, look, it's like the Champions League final a few years ago. You're nearly afraid to make mistakes, and it kind of pulls you into your shell maybe a little. Slightly. Maybe that, but like I said, missing Thiago and having someone alongside you when you weren't expecting someone alongside you, having Naby, and the way Chelsea play, it's stifle, it's squeeze you like a boa constrictor. They stop your space, trying to stop you playing, squeeze you. That's what I think. They did all right. They didn't really do anything wrong. Didn't give the ball away. Like the referee could have booked 6 or 7 Chelsea players in the first half for some of those fouls. There was did he book Naby for that? Did he book Naby for one in the first? Around
No,
halfway.
he didn't.
He didn't
No,
book
he
him. Right? Okay.
No.
I thought he was going to book him.
Gary Neville and Martin Tyler were going on about it for the rest of the game.
Oh, what a shock!
Oh, God. Those douchebags. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, okay. Well, no, we won't sully this podcast with their names anymore. But no, okay. But because the other midfielder who I thought was brilliant was Fabinho, 92.7% passing accuracy. Yeah. That's what you want your anchor to do, isn't it? It's what you want your, the guy who directs so much play from the back, Fabinho. I thought he was superb. 80 touches, so double what Keita had and Henderson had. And, he won one header. He had one key pass, he even had an attempt at goal. Fabinho was everywhere. He was like that monster from Stranger Things. He always reminds you of that when he's on, this big sort of tentacled monster that's everywhere in midfield. And he was stopping them left, right, and centre. He was brilliant, Alan. Fabinho.
Oh, absolutely. What a player. What a player he is. I think in his worst game, he's probably still the best player on the pitch. He's just unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. Obviously, I wish I could do a quarter of what he can do. But he gets his legs in, he can pass, he can go forward, he can header, tackles, he holds the ball. There isn't anything he can't do. Like we all have certain midfielders that we know can do certain things, but he can do anything. I just love him. Yeah. He's the rock that does hold the midfield together. And he helps the back forward because they're so much more confident with him there as well. He's just fantastic.
When it's mentioned, people mention it all the time. I think it was Neville said it today. Ratboy. I think Ratboy said it on after the game when they were going to get the medals. Actually, they were going across getting the medals after getting the cup, and he said that Virgil van Dijk is the big signing for Liverpool. Well, yeah, he may be, but we have Alisson, we have Virgil van Dijk, and we have Fab. Mm-hmm. Fab is equally, if not, he is such an important cog in that team.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and we lost the Champions League final against Real Madrid. The next day, we signed Fabinho.
Yeah,
and he has become absolutely indispensable and irreplaceable. He is the best player in his position in the world, without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely, and it's his intelligence I love. Like the way that there was a moment at the end where some players, even our players, they can overcomplicate things at the wrong time at the back. You just need to make one mistake at the back and it's a goal. It's a very tough place to be on a football pitch. But there was this moment at the end where it was just the right thing to do was just welly it. Everyone was needed. It was going to be the end of the game. And Fabinho wellied it, not into touch, as far as he could down the pitch. And at that time, that's exactly what was needed. And he does that. He knows when to pass it backwards. He knows when to try something, unusual, which is very, very, very rarely, as it should be if you're a number 6. And it's his intelligence, it's the way that he understands everything. Always the decision making is just perfect from him. Let's the other midfielders who came on, of course, midfielder Harvey Elliott and James Milner. James Milner, I thought, was unbelievable. It was vintage James Milner, in my opinion. What did you make of him, Nigel?
You want to go out on the field, and you want somebody who's there going and battle with you and backs to the wall. James Milner. He's just keeps going and going and going and going. The legs might be gone slightly, but he just won't give up. He won't let himself give up. So that's the Milner.
He's deceptively silky as well. Did you not notice, Nigel, a couple of silky passes that he made?
He always had that. He always had that ability to pass the ball. You know what I mean? Because he like, the thing about Milner is where he plays now and doing the things like that Neymar tackle against Barcelona or against PSG a few years ago. But you got to remember, James Milner played as a winger. James Milner is not a midfielder who goes around stopping other teams playing. James Milner was the guy who made things tick.
Mm-hmm. So creative. Obviously, Champions League record holder for assists. Absolutely marvellous. Yeah. But he was everywhere. He got involved. Again, the intelligence, the decision-making that you would expect. He got it perfect. 82.1% passing accuracy. So, more than Naby, more than Harvey Elliott. And Alan, you could talk about James Milner or move on to Harvey Elliott if you prefer.
Oh, yeah, well, I agree with you about James. You know what you're going to get off James. What better player to bring on in a situation like that? He's a fantastic player. As for Harvey, I felt sorry for Harvey because when he came on, we had lost midfield. So he spent most of his game running around trying to defend, and he didn't get his chances to affect things up front more. But he worked his heart out. He worked hard. He did everything. Yeah. Even though I said already we lost to midfield today, but it wasn't from lack of trying. Just Chelsea just played better in midfield, and
absolutely.
Harvey did nothing wrong. James did nothing wrong. It's just one of those days. But we stayed in the fight. That was the main thing.
Absolutely.
Well, I think kudos for his penalty. I was delighted. Because when you're 18 years old, when you made your, like James Milner made his professional debut 2 years before Harvey Elliott was born, and so to be that young, that much of a wee chick in the aviary of life, and to miss a penalty in a final could really hurt you, your development. But he nailed it, absolutely nailed it, and it was brilliant to see. Great to see his celebration. What joy to see him getting that one in.
Fantastic.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. The celebration. It's like Nigel said earlier on. Players get our team, get our fans. Harvey's a Liverpool fan all his life, and he just celebrated the same way we did. Fantastic penalty. Another
one who gets it, Nigel. You were talking about how Thiago really gets the club.
Absolutely.
Harvey, 100%. Totally excellent. All right, well, let's move into the attack. It said Sadio Mane. He looked really annoyed being taken off, but I think it was the right move in the end because typical Sadio Mane performance at times. Just kick the ball into touch for no reason. At times, absolutely skinning some of the best defenders in the world. Almost scoring. He would have scored had it not been for the fabulous save by Mendy. And, he's just danger. He's an enigma. He's a danger. But most of all, he's a legend. He's a legend of Liverpool.
I love him.
He's a legendary winger. Yeah. So, Nigel, do you agree with me? Because I don't think enough people are talking about how Mane needs to sign an extension as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely love the guy. Great player. He's such an honest player. You know, he just runs and runs and runs and runs. When he scored that penalty in the AFCON and his team won, like I was disappointed for Mo, but I was delighted for Sadio as well. You know, he's that kind of a guy. He's just 100% whole heart in the game and in for the club as well. Just he wants to give everything, and when he gets taken off, it's more disappointing in himself, I think, than you know. That it hasn't really happened for him today.
Yeah, I mean, and what do you make of him, Nigel, in the nine, as you know, central striker, sort of, or false nine, dropping deep occasionally? What do you make of him in that position? I like it, you know, I do.
Oh yeah, it works. I think I actually prefer him coming off the left, but it does work. But you've got to be able to give him a little bit of service as well. I think you've got to be able to get somebody like Thiago, who's going to play the ball into the channels and let him run onto him. There's no point in trying to put balls in high to Sadio. He's decent in the air, but you don't know whether it's going to come off his nose, his forehead, his shoulder, his ear. It could come off anywhere. He doesn't know either. So I mean,
yeah, but he's good. He's got a great sprint.
Oh, yeah,
he's got a great leap.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm interested. What do you think? What do you think of him in the middle as Dave joins the chat? Hello, Dave from Dave's LFC chat. He just says simply, "Get the fuck in, Reds." Excellent stuff. And Gary Richardson before King Kelleher. We're all celebrating. We're celebrating all around the world today. In the Alps, they're celebrating. In the Himalayas, they're celebrating. In the Sahara, they're celebrating. This is absolutely beautiful stuff. You know, it's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day. Alan, what do you make of Sadio Mane in the nine?
Yeah, I like him there. I think maybe his days of being fast out in the left wing are probably catching up with him. He can still do a great job there, but Diaz is going to be the player there now, future. So I can see Sadio playing in the midfield a lot more. I think he can play anywhere. Like I said, he's one of those players. He just gives 100%. Yeah. And I love when he gets taken off and is angry, because I want to see my players angry coming off.
Angry, absolutely.
Angry,
definitely.
Yeah. Not giving out to the boss or anything, just angry, because he wants to play. And I think I know why Klopp took him off, because Diaz was doing so great in the left. But obviously 5 minutes later, Diaz, I think, looked like he hurt his hamstring at the end line. So then it kind of took away from if that happened 5 minutes later or earlier, he wouldn't have took Sadio off, I don't think. Yep. But I like him. I like him in the nine there. But...
Yeah, let's hope Luis Diaz is okay. I didn't realise that he was clutching his hamstring, was he?
Yeah, he kind of stretched for a ball at the end line, and he just seemed to limp a bit after it and hold his hamstring. And he wasn't bad, but he was a bit tender, and I think didn't take any chance. Just took him off fairly quick.
Okay. Well, we've got 2 games next week, lads.
Wow. Yeah.
We're playing Norwich on Wednesday night, and we're playing West Ham on Saturday.
Yeah, okay. So Norwich in the Cup's going to be a reserve team.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Maybe. I think so. Some of them anyway. Yeah, but there's got to be.
Go on. Sorry.
There's got to be a little bit of looking forward as well.
Yes. So right decision. Hopefully a precaution to take him off. Absolutely. I mean, let's talk about him though, Luis Diaz. I mean, he was one of the best players on the pitch. Was he probably the best attacker on the pitch in terms of performance?
He was ours.
Havertz was good. Havertz was causing problems, but I thought Luis Diaz was causing all manner of problems to all manner of defenders. It doesn't matter who they put up against him, whether it was Reece James, Azpilicueta, Chalobah, anyone. He was sort of, I don't know, they were like chasing shadows, weren't they? I don't know.
Yeah,
go on, Alan.
He's a joy to watch. He's magic. Like I think I said on the last podcast, Owen, he's a mix between Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Suarez. Yeah, he has the talent of all of them. He's electric. And again, sorry to labour on the point, but like Nigel said earlier on, he gets us.
Yes,
from day one, he's a
3 weeks
in. Yeah, he's in
3 weeks.
He's like,
3 weeks he's been at the club.
yeah, you think he's at us for years.
Yeah.
He's brilliant,
Yeah.
and he's so exciting to watch. When he gets the ball, he just gives you that little tingle in your heart, that little dart. Just I love him. I love him. I think he's going to be super. Yeah, Suarez thing. Suarez is yeah. He's the first player that I've seen. Like, I'm 40 odd years following Liverpool, and there's a long time since the player did that to me. Like, Suarez was the last, and Gerrard before
quickly.
that. Yeah.
So quickly,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
So quickly.
Now, I was having a discussion the other day with a work colleague of mine about what team we could pick, and I said to him, I play Diaz for the simple reason that one of their main outlets for attacking is Azpilicueta. I want him to go down and push Azpilicueta back and not let him out, and he did. I thought he was our best outfield player by an absolute street. He was fantastic.
Very good,
yeah. Totally brilliant, and he's got that sort of fighting spirit. He's from the YU people, WAYW, the tribe, and it's fascinating if you look at the YU people. Very spiritual people, believe in multiple deities, and the most important is Maliwa, who is the creator of the YU people. So, with all respect, to Maliwa, thank you for creating Luis Diaz, because he's a marvel. We love him, absolutely. Okay, and Mo Salah running down the wing, running into trouble more often than not, but still managing to get 5 shots off, which is quite amazing, really. Sadio Mane, by the way, who I didn't mention, had 4 key passes, which is the most by a long way. Of our attackers. Trent managed 6.
Okay.
Sadio managed 4, which is very important, I think, in terms of it as a creative number 9.
Yeah.
But Mo Salah only 1 key pass, and there were times when he looked like he was trying too hard, maybe. Like, I don't know. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I was thinking that, particularly near the end, I was thinking he's kind of starved the service. He hasn't got much balls, and he's trying too much now. He was trying to win it on his own, say, in the last 10, 15 minutes in particular. But he was just, like you said earlier on, he was just marked so well. Like, Chelsea did that to him in their last 2 games as well, that they know he's a danger, to mark him, to double up on him, triple up on him sometimes. Yeah. So he's always a threat, and he's a great player. Like, it was kind of hard for him there today. But yeah, I agree with you. He was trying too hard near the end, trying to get that spectacular goal.
But compare Mo Salah to a slightly topical issue. As far as I'm concerned, with this double and tripling up, it's like teams during the war in no man's land put a load of barbed wire to try and stop. Well, these players are extra barbed wire to try and stop him getting at them. Yeah, because they know what a threat is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're having nightmares in their bunkers the nights before the match. But there you go. And then Divock came on, 100% passing accuracy. I think maybe because he only had 1 pass. It wasn't to be for him on the pitch. He had that one moment when Trent played the perfect pass. Did you see, right at the death? Yeah. Trent played the perfect pass, and it looked like the defender was going. I thought the defender was going to get it. Divock thought the defender was going to get it, but he missed it. And if Divock had just swung a leg, we could be talking about yet another fairy tale. But we can't be greedy, can we? You can't do it all the time. He nailed his penalty, Absolutely. Divock, and what a guy, Nigel.
Fantastic. Exactly. That's what about all you can say. What a guy. Like, it's like people be saying, like, Stevie G, King Kenny, Divock. 20 years time.
8 passes it was, 8 out of 8, 100% passing accuracy in the melee of a final. Cool as
might be a slight exaggeration in one name, but Divock. He's done it for us. Like, big game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally. No, I think you're right. We're going to remember him for the rest of our lives.
Oh, absolutely. That goal against Everton in the 96th minute, and the goal in the Champions League final, and the goal against Barcelona.
Absolutely.
Simple.
And today, I'm going to remember his penalty and you know, the way, I don't know, he's an icon. He's an icon. In
He's an
many
icon.
ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't disagree with that.
And
quite similar to Kelleher. He doesn't get phased.
Yeah,
he's just calm, cool.
Yeah. Another guy I could compare him to as well, who didn't have the best of luck with the team he played with, and still he won a trophy with us. But God, he could have won so much more. Is Dirk Kuyt?
Oh, I missed Dirk today.
I love Dirk Kuyt. I always loved Dirk Kuyt.
Yeah.
He was so unlucky with the team that he played with. That you know, we had Gerrard and we had Dirk Kuyt and we had Carragher and we had Suarez and we had Sturridge. But you know, other than that, it was a kind of you felt sorry for those guys.
Yeah, we had stocking filler. Apart from that, didn't we? Or not even like
we had stocking a shit in the face on.
Well, there you go. That was it. Much more poetically put. Thank you. You know, I wanted Dirk Kuyt to come on. I think Klopp with Kuyt. Imagine that would have been amazing. You know, in the end, I mean, he brought on Diogo Jota. He's working wonders with Diogo Jota as well. 77.8% passing accuracy from 9 passes. So obviously he missed a couple of his passes. Diogo, he hassled well. I thought he hassled and harried well, and that's an important thing to do. But it wasn't his day either, apart from the penalty, because everyone scored a penalty. It's so satisfying that every single person on the pitch scored a penalty.
It's amazing.
I can't believe it.
I remember the days when penalties, you'd be lucky to see the full 5 penalties taken.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like now the last couple of years, penalty taken is it's normally down to a mistake. You know, like how many times now do you see 10, 11 players taking penalties? It's amazing.
It's amazing. I think Fergus is joining us. Is your mic working, Fergus? If you want to say hello, I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we don't have Fergus for the moment because his mic's not working. But okay, never mind. Okay, well, there you go. We had an icon of Fergus appearing on the YouTube, but there you go. His mic is not working. So okay, So and the last person who we didn't talk about was Konate. Ibu came on, and he was there to fight Lukaku. Basically, he was there to protect against the runners in behind, the pace of Werner, and the muscle of Lukaku. And despite the ref's best efforts to give fouls against him every single time, I thought Ibu was very, very good. I thought he was strong, he was quick, he was composed, and he had 74.1% passing accuracy, so he could have been better as well. But I thought he was very, very good. What did you make of him, Nigel?
Yeah, I thought he doesn't put any feet wrong, does he? He just comes in and he does the simple job. Solid player, 22 years old, one for the future. One for now, one for the future.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one that actually went in that was just offside. Remember, Lukaku? That was one thing. Maybe he could have done a bit better there. Alan, what did you think of Konate?
Yeah, I think I'd have mixed feelings about him today. He did, like you said, he was trying to do that job on Lukaku. But yeah, I thought he was cut out for that, and one or two times he frightened the heart out of me. All right, but overall he did very good. But I also just think we missed Matip running forward a bit, which I think put more pressure on us at the back, because sometimes people forget if Matip gets the ball and runs forward 20, 30 yards, two of their players have to move to come to Matip and frees up the forwards or the midfield more. So just for that reason, I was sorry to see Matip go off, really. But yeah, Ibu did nothing wrong. He got away with that one.
And don't you think defensively we benefited from having Ibu because he was much fresher than Matip, against the two pacey guys that Tommy T had brought on.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, really, probably agree with that. Yeah, but yeah, it's hard. I see Ibu is going to be one of the best centre backs in the world in another 2-3 years, and every game he gets like this helps him and brings him on. and he sure loves a battle, and he had a battle with Lukaku, so that was good.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it very much. We'll just see if we can bring Fergus back in. We'll try again. Fergus, your mic is muted, maybe. It's not going to work. There you go. Yes.
Hi, Owen. Yes, I'm on.
Yay. All right, Fergus. You're with us. Excellent timing. We're about 50 minutes in, which is excellent. How are you? Are you, I don't know, were you just downing a bottle of tequila to celebrate?
Well, I did just have to open a nice bottle of Alentejo sparkling wine to,
Wow.
even though it's a Sunday night, I'm allowing myself the luxury because of the victory.
Excellent stuff. Did you think that you would care about the League Cup so much?
Well, it's one of those trophies you have the luxury of not caring if you lose or pretending and saying you didn't care. It wasn't a big trophy anyway. But if you win, you can enjoy it, So that's how it is. And so fabulous game overall. Obviously, I've missed what you guys have been discussing. I've got 2 young kids, so a lot of the time it's like, depends on but like depending on the weather, how are they going to be? Are they going to be in bed in time? All of that sort of stuff. So anyway, just overall reaction, fabulous game. Either side could have won. We played really well. Obviously, we missed a few chances. Both goalkeepers were excellent. Chelsea played really well. Very tough opposition, and it's sod's law, isn't it, for Tommy Tuchel? It's really we can be quite smug when you can see the opposition manager trying to be a bit clever, And obviously, Tommy T was thinking that the glory would partly be his if he made the smart decision of bringing on Kepa and he wins it with a penalty. But he's got to take it the other way around as well, And it was him who missed the penalty. I thought Quivine Kelleher did brilliant during the game, but he went almost the wrong way for every penalty that they took. So I think he's got to work on his penalty saving, but otherwise he was excellent. So very entertaining match. Obviously quite tense. Very good. We're a bit wild and loose now with Luis Diaz on the left, so it's kind of hard to know what to predict. A big loss of Thiago before the game. Naby was, I suppose 6 out of 10. Lucky to stay on, but the tackle looked much worse in slow motion, and it wasn't at all meant.
Oh, they were claiming an elbow. Oh yeah, that was nonsense. Yeah, we haven't actually spoken about that because there's nothing really to talk about. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. It was great. And so there you go. You're celebrating with your sparkling wine. I do want to talk about Chelsea. Sorry,
go ahead. I'm just going to check. I can see Irish Red 1 is on. And is that Alan, Nigel, the other Irishman?
Yeah, and Alan. Yes. Yeah, exactly. We've got Nigel. So
we have 3 Irishmen and a Welshman today. Wow.
There you go. 3 Irishmen and a Welshman. Yeah, exactly.
We're taking over.
So well, I want to pick you guys' brain, okay, about this one, because the big news from yesterday that we haven't seen the repercussions of is that Abramovich has gone. Now, I know that most of what we've been talking about is all about the glory of Liverpool today, but I honestly think like there are 2 ways that this can go. Either it's like any kind of, offshore tax avoidance scheme that you care to mention, and he's going to stay in the shadows and he's going to stay investing in it, and nothing will really change. It's just officially it won't be his club. Or, as I was thinking today, what's the point of him spending all of his money on Chelsea these days anyway? Like, is there a world in which, Alan, I'm going to ask you about this, in which Abramovich is actually gone from Chelsea, or is it all just a smokescreen?
No, I don't think he's gone. I think it's smokescreen. It's done for. It's probably done in the best interest of the club at the moment. But politics and sport, I don't think mix, because I know it's terrible. Putin and Russia are the bad guys now all of a sudden, but nobody's talking about Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen all week, so personally I think that we should stay away from politics and sports.
It's difficult, yeah. I mean, it's a difficult situation, yeah. To talk, it's difficult to talk about politics at any time, and just that everyone's, obviously, but as you say, like I don't know, personally, I'm a militant pacifist, so my heart goes out to anyone who wants peace, and it doesn't go out to people who want war. So I think Putin, I don't know if he wants war. They can just hunt him down or whatever, steal Abramovich's cell phone and find his number, give him a call, find out where he is, and send the boys or whatever. Because I don't know, we're not going to get too much into politics, of course not. But let's talk about footy and Chelsea. What do you think, Nigel? Do you reckon? Because if he's going to stay in the shadows, and Alan's saying nothing much is going to change, then why? Like, what's his motivation? Because I don't know.
Perfect.
What do you think, Nigel?
Perfect. No, I think that this Abramovich has done it for the best interest of the club. This is to stop sanctions and to stop Chelsea being stripped of assets. It's as simple as that. He's gone there. He's the puppet master. He's going to be there playing with the strings, out of shot. He said he gave it to the shareholders. Who's the shareholders? His son, or whoever?
Well, the board of trustees. I did look it up. Actually, it's just there are a few people, but it's like it's basically his mates.
Abramovich.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but no, but the thing is, right? If you believe what it's quite an interesting story as to why he bought Chelsea in the first place. There was someone who was an ex-minister who was one of my old students many years ago in the Czech Republic, who said that Abramovich was part of this, new capitalist. Basically they bought up all the gas and oil and natural resources, and he made his millions from that. And he was put. It's a really long and complicated story I don't want to get into, but basically he may have bought Chelsea in order to have a public profile to make him harder to assassinate. Now he's done that. I just wonder if there's even a point in him continuing. I don't know. Am I just getting embroiled up in these wild conspiracy theory nonsense? Alan's nodding his head. What do you think, Fergus?
Yeah, very interesting. I agree with what Nigel says. It is an interesting question, and we can touch on it because it's a fascinating topic. Nigel, absolutely right. He's done it to distance himself from sanctions, make it look as if Chelsea is now controlled by a trust. But we know that trust, that there's a board of trustees, but then underneath that board of trustees, the ownership, I'm sure, remains the same, or maybe he has to transfer it, as Nigel suggested, into the name of, his son or his, someone who doesn't exist at all. But yeah, that's exactly. He's taken what's the word when you take preemptive? He's taken preemptive action to. If you're a rich and powerful person, you always want to be the one in control, so that you don't have to be, later on covering your tracks or reacting later on. So as a powerful person, he's taken preemptive action to slightly remove himself, slightly step back from Chelsea and pretend that he's not really running it. Whether he does continue to want to run it in the future, I suppose it's also an asset. These guys are multi-billionaires, and him having Chelsea is like us probably having a savings account. It's something you don't have to touch now, and you just leave it there, and it's fine. And the old days you used to get interest in your savings account. You don't anymore. And I'm sure Chelsea is an appreciating asset, so he won't sell it unless he doubles his money, which could happen, or he has to sell it. But at this moment in time, he's just trying to keep his nose clean. And I suppose third thing that my particular bugbear is that, unfortunately, sport and players and the public get dragged in, especially sport, because it's such a high-profile thing. It gets dragged into this news agenda. without getting too political, the Ukrainian American puppet government has been bombing Donbass for 8 years, since 2014. Nobody's been talking about or supporting or tweeting, links for charities to support the women and children and the public of Donbass, who were, as Russian ethnic people, were subject to, bombing by the Ukrainian nationalist government. And of course, Russia now has moved in. You could say what you will about that, but I mean, now, because it's a news spotlight and a news agenda, everyone is being forced to comment. I mean, I don't think Klopp was asked about it, but Jordan Henderson was asked about it after the match. And it's really ridiculous. It's out of, as Alan said as well, no one's talking about Yemen. Why aren't they being interviewed about Yemen the last 8 years? It's just, the news, Owen, as a, I suppose you've worked in media on and off through your life. Media is a spotlight. It's like that stage light in the old days when you'd be on stage and you'd have the floodlight on you. And media is that floodlight, and it's on a certain event or a certain scene, and then the floodlight on that stage, it moves to another scene, and we're all expected to follow whatever's in the floodlight. But really, there's an agenda of all of those people who own the media and all of those rich people who want to promote whatever it is they're promoting, usually bad. Anyway, that's my take.
Well said, Fergus.
Well said, yeah, good stuff. Can I just make an observation transfer-wise on Chelsea when you were talking about Abramovich getting assassinated earlier on? Did he sign Lukaku twice and Timo Werner because they can't shoot straight?
Good man, Nigel, breaking the ice.
Yeah,
excellent stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, wise investments. Yeah, absolutely, brilliant. So, yeah, all right. Let's go on to back to the joy, because we've won the League Cup. It's a joyous and wonderful time. I mean, people say that winning a trophy, it's Diogo Jota's first, Luis Diaz's first with the club, and other people as well, Harvey Elliott, of course. It can spur on this team to greater things. Now, Manchester City, they've had some very dodgy penalty decisions go their way in the last two matches, and Liverpool had, I don't know, we can talk about the refs all day, but Liverpool have not had as much luck with refs, let's just put it that way.
Right.
So City is still the favourites, Nigel, and Liverpool is still, in terms of the league, and we're just still playing catch up, and we can just relax, play our game, and see what happens.
Yeah, just keep going. Game at a time. Keep going. Keep winning. Put the pressure on them. We've got to play them. We've got our tails up.
We've got our tails up now, absolutely.
We've got our tails up. We're playing well. Like, they cannot keep getting decisions like this. That was an absolute farce yesterday again. Like, time after time after time. It's like Abramovich has the best referees money can buy. There is absolutely no doubt. He's bought these guys. Or not Abramovich, the oil money, the sheik money. Abramovich has done enough for that as well.
Yes.
There's a like, is there any? I've said this before to a few people. Is there any? The media is based in London and Manchester, basically. The UK media is based in London and Manchester. Is there any? What's the word?
Bias? Any
Diversity?
No, not diversity. Coincidence. Is there any? Is it any coincidence? Sorry. Yeah. Is there any? Is it any coincidence that these decisions come for kind of mostly London and Manchester teams? I don't think so.
I think it's the PGMOL themselves. I mean,
the
majority of the referees actually have ties to Manchester. Like,
they do.
Literally,
those two last night definitely do.
Born there. They have family there, and it's ridiculous, because even if you say and you actually genuinely believe that you don't have any bias, then it's not true. You're kidding yourself, because
Not a woman
everybody has bias. We all have them.
Well, I'll take this conspiracy one step further, in that in England there's I don't know if I necessarily believe this, but my brother says it to me, and he's usually pretty insightful. We all know in England there's a racist attitude towards Scousers.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah, so anyone who's from outside Liverpool, especially from the South Coast and Manchester, they're pretty happy to discriminate against Scousers, and it's kind of par for the course for being English. And Scousers themselves, they know it, and that's why most of them don't support the England team. We all know
The
that.
national anthem today.
Yeah,
That was
that was
good. I
amazing.
enjoyed that. Yeah, I
As
really
an
enjoyed
Irishman,
that.
it's great to hear people singing over the British national anthem. Sorry to say, but anyway,
No,
if
I
that
think
offends
it's
anyone.
No,
But,
I think it's fine, because
yeah.
the government, the British government, has just screwed Liverpool, the city, over so many
They've
times.
screwed their
in
own
the past.
people so many times, and the royalty. I mean,
Yeah.
we're getting off topic here, but what's the royalty ever done for Britain apart from attract a few tourists?
Well, yes, exactly. But no, we're gonna stick with what we can win, what we can control, or what we can't control. We're just the
Yes.
fans. But what we can
But,
enjoy, Jurgen Klopp control.
in terms of referees, Owen and Nigel, what I would say is I think it's mostly down to incompetence. There might be some biases in there, but really the PGMOL is Mike Riley and his mates. We do have the worst referees in Europe. It's on record, because none of them are ever invited to officiate at European and World Cups, European Championships. So, I think it's really just incompetence. And City are rattled. You could see by Pep's reaction yesterday, City are really rattled. As Nigel was saying, we just got to keep going. They're rattled. Pep hates it. He's one of these guys who likes to be stress-free when he's coasting, but as soon as anyone's on his tail, you can see that he's really rattled. So we'll keep going. We're on the trail of 4 trophies. We've got one under the belt now. It was touch and go, really, but winners, we won it. So let's keep going and see what we can do next. I would be disappointed now if we don't win the league.
Wow. Yeah. There you go. How are you feeling about it, Alan?
I saw you were on mute there, Alan.
Yeah, you're on mute there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think it was great that we won it. I think I also think we're going to push on and win the league now.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the other thing about winning it, like, it's great to win this cup, but it's more what would happen if we lost it. So it can work both ways for you. If you lose it, you can get angry and channel your anger and play better, but also you can lose it and fall apart. So I think it's a big stepping stone for us. Fergus is right there. Pep, you can see Pep starting to crack a little bit. He's done it before.
Definitely rattled.
Yeah, definitely rattled. And we just keep winning our games, and we can catch them. And I think if anyone can overtake City, it's Liverpool. And
it's only Liverpool.
Apart from their refereeing decisions last night, Everton should have got a point there last night. Really,
What's the odds? What's the odds when we play City? We get one of those two from last night, or both?
Yeah, exactly. But we'll beat them on the pitch.
We'll beat them on the pitch. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
I mean, our next game are against. We got Norwich in the FA Cup. We've got West Ham United at home. We've got Inter Milan at home. Then Brighton away, Arsenal away, Manchester United at home. And that's between now and the 20th of March. It's tons of games. They sound pretty difficult. But for this team, I think pretty much anything is possible. So we'll keep going. We're going to keep this positivity, this bounce. And I want to thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me, because it's been so nice to revel in this Quiveen Kelleher the King. It's been an absolute joy. So thanks, Alan. Thanks, Nigel. And thank you, Fergus. It's been a real joy talking to you all. Thank you. And speak to you soon.
Going to watch Jurgen Klopp dance.
Yes, exactly.
Night, lads.
Thanks, lads. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.